What's going on, people, and welcome to the Blue Steel Podcast Show. I'm your co-host LV Live, along with my co-host Jeff. And Jeff, it is that time of year again, my man. The NFL Draft, my man.
Yes, it is, man. I mean, NFL just takes over. Um, it was like, did you see the crowd at the draft? It's crazy.
Yeah, man, that looked like a rock
It's a
concert.
yeah, man. It was insane. So it's big, man. It gets bigger every. I didn't even think this thing of myself personally, the traveling draft. I didn't really like it. I like it being in New York City, but it actually turned into a pretty cool event. So big time.
So the question is football dying out? I would say no, Jeff. I mean, it's pretty live and kicking, man. With a lot of those, the way they got this, I don't believe any other draft is like this.
No, it's not. No. Definitely not. It's especially NFL is still the king. So you can get 100 something thousand people to go to a draft in Nashville, Tennessee. So that just shows you. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. But I'm sorry, I apologize. People, me and Jeff are just so draft minded. We're like the draft board guys, thinking of projections. So, but first, we want to say thank you for coming to our show. Please, if you have any likes or dislikes about our show, please send us a message at Blue Steel Show at gmail.com. Blue Steel Show at gmail.com. Also, too, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button and hit that bell icon right there next to that where you can get notifications for our show.
yes, sir.
So, Jeff, my Giants did exactly what I had a feeling they were going to do. They drafted a quarterback who no one has ever heard of, who no one has probably ever seen play.
Nope.
And it's something I spoke to you about off air. I just think the Giants have a blueprint. They have kind of like a look or kind of like a guy who represents the organization properly. Um, and I think this is an inside move. I think this guy is connected to David Cutcliffe, which I believe is the head coach, who also happens to be Eli's quarterback coach since college, and Peyton Manning's quarterback coach prior to that. So this is obviously an inside job because to me, this guy's not even better than Dwayne Haskins. He's not better than Will Greer out of West Virginia, Drew Lockett out of Missouri. He's not better than none of those quarterbacks. But the Giants pick him with the sixth pick. I mean, if this is not an inside job, I don't know what is.
Right.
He's unheard of. I don't know who he is. I don't know his stats. I don't know. I know he played at Duke, but Duke's not a football school.
That's it.
We, we're talking about
Absolutely isn't.
Zion. You know what I mean? You talk about Duke.
I I take Zion before this kid.
So I don't know.
Man.
So
Yeah.
I really don't know. Even but the Giants also picked up D tackle Dexter Lawrence, who I think that's a big get right there on the interior. He kind of fills the void that Snacks left. He's that type of player. He's a gap filler. Uh,
Right.
Now, is he better than Snacks now? Of course not. Snacks to me is top two or three D tackles, nose guards of the NFL. He's just that good. The Giants just couldn't afford to pay him anymore what they were paying him. But this kid has the same type of skill set. Eventually, could get to that. Um, to me, that was a great pickup by them. Um, but I think the Giants are getting back to being the Giants, and I think the Steelers are getting back to that steel curtain. They picked up Devin Bush out of the University of Michigan, which is a big get for the Steelers. Jeff, how do you feel about that?
I like the move a lot. They were, basically. This isn't really. I understand why you say that, but it's replacing Ron Shazier. which obviously we lost to a devastating injury, spinal cord injury. He's doing remarkable things. Just even be able to walk and different things of that nature. But it's just the hole that we needed to fill big. And obviously, they haven't moved up like this since they got Troy Polamalu to be going to the Hall of Fame this year. So um, we don't typically make moves like this very often unless it's just a player they love. And obviously, they felt is going sitting there and start immediately from day one. Otherwise, you don't move up that far. I like the pick a lot. I've seen him play. He had great speed, which is what Shazier had. So we needed somebody who can play three downs in that spot, and we didn't have anybody. So great move by the organization. You lose some second round picks and you swap first round, but you have to do that if you think it's somebody special. So really good move. I'm happy about it. And he has some big shoes to fill, but he's a very good player. So
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good player. I mean, I think I just think that with this draft, I mean, like I told you, off air, this is a pretty deep draft. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of talented players. I mean, I haven't watched it in the last couple of minutes, but the number one wide receiver on the board, DK Metcalf, he hasn't been picked up yet. So
he still hasn't.
so it's a whole bunch of D tackles, linebackers. That tells you exactly what we spoke about. A couple of shows back. This is going to be a defense-driven draft because the defense has to catch up with the way the offenses are this year in the NFL. Last year in the NFL, than what it's projected to be for the next coming years. I mean, look at what the Cardinals did. They drafted Kyler Murray. You basically drafted a Porsche to put your Mercedes Benz up, which is Josh Rosen. And that's what they did. They drafted a Porsche because Cliff Kingsbury knows exactly who he needs to run that offense, and the perfect, driver or the engine, however you want to call it or use it or whatever, is Kyler Murray. He's a perfect fit to that offense. I see Josh Rosen being moved. They're gonna ship him most likely for some draft picks. Probably within the next within the next coming weeks. That's gonna happen because Kyler Murray's got to start. He's got to start, and Cliff Kingsbury, with this being his first time as an NFL head coach, he had to make the big splash. He had to put himself in the perfect position to succeed, and with that offense, you need a player like Kyler Murray. I mean, that's just what it is. So, believe it or not, I see him within the next couple of years lighting the league up. I think he's going to be very similar to Patrick Mahomes. Remember, Cliff Kingsbury was Patrick Mahomes' head coach at Texas Tech. So, I said a couple of years, Jeff. I didn't say next year. I said a couple of years.
No, I know. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the coach. That's another. He shouldn't even be no head coach in the NFL. Does not deserve the position. Does not deserve to have the head coaching job at all. It didn't win nothing. So, it's that you getting back to, kind of insider stuff. That's insider stuff, man. Anybody connected with somebody, and I mean, it's just annoying, man. People get head coaching job. He couldn't even win in the Big 12. So he don't deserve that. He don't deserve that job. But anyway, get back to the draft. That just annoys me. It's not a sexy draft, outside of Kyler Murray being taken first. So, like you said, a lot of defensive tackles, defensive ends, defense. Couple tight ends taken from Iowa. But, I'm going to say this, man. I hope Haskins lights her up a couple times, man. Because even Washington, bro. I don't like that move either, man. I just don't. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. Dude, I'm gonna just give you one little thing here. ESPN has Daniel Jones ranked 6th in his position, 59th overall, and he got picked 6th in the draft.
That proves my point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know. I agree 1,000%. He got an 80 grade. He got picked 6. He shouldn't even be picked to like 3rd, 4th round with it.
Jeff, man, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree.
It's crazy.
Totally. That just shows you how it's all about relationships, man, and how you're plugged in and who, you know,
Yep.
come on, man. I mean, this is easy to figure out. This is not hard. You know what I mean? That's why he
Yeah,
got picked.
yeah. It's just it's extremely frustrating, man. Like brothers can't, what you got to do. Haskins threw what? 50, did he throw 50 touchdowns this year? Was that?
Yeah,
I
man. He
think
do
he
he,
did,
he
right?
do he
Yeah,
do
50
50
total
touchdowns, man.
touchdowns.
Listen, he played the Big Ten,
So
man. He played the Big Ten with the Ohio State. They were one of the best teams in the nation.
right,
You know, Daniel Jones. What
and
did he
he
do?
and they weren't as talented as they usually are either. Like
Right.
they weren't as deep as they normally are.
Still put up
And
big
he's throwing
numbers.
in cold weather, man.
But not
Yeah,
just him.
man.
Not listen.
He's
Not
done
just him.
since.
Not just him. Will Greer out of West Virginia. He played in the Big 12. He put up huge numbers down there. I'm totally
Did he
lost.
come out?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he came out. Yeah, man. I don't get it, man. I don't. It's just annoying, man. Like you just like.
Hey, man.
It's just
It
very
proves.
frustrating. I'm not saying much, but this is very frustrating.
Absolutely. We know the answer to that. But the reality is that's just what it is, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not based on,
Yeah.
it's all about relationships. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to.
Like most stuff. So.
Right. Absolutely. But I like this draft. I do. I like the talent that's coming out. It's a lot of players out there. Like I said, I like DK Metcalf out of Ole Miss. I think he's a really good receiver. There's another receiver that he plays with, A.J. Brown, who's also another good receiver coming out. You just have a lot of great players still out there who are
Oh yeah.
who are first round grades, but it's such a deep draft, and it's a defensive draft, man. They gotta be listen. Mahomes torched the league last year, and what they said is we got to get to the quarterback. We got to get to the quarterback. A pick that I like, but I don't like where he's going, who I think is going to wreak havoc in the league, is Ed Oliver. They got him going to Buffalo.
Oh yeah, kid from Houston.
Yeah, man, he's another Aaron Donald. Same type of player.
Yeah.
Same type of player. I don't like the location. Where I would have loved for him to be was someplace maybe like Tennessee or someplace like Jacksonville. That would be a great Buffalo. I mean, you go up there, you get lost. I mean, look what happened to Marshawn Lynch. People forget he was in Buffalo first.
Yeah, he was. Well, Jacksonville took that kid, Josh Allen, instead of
Who to me is also going to who's going to be a star also, because Jeff, you got to understand, he's a perfect example of what the league is becoming. You need those athletic outside linebackers who can cover,
fast.
right? Who can cover, and who can get to the quarterback. And he's like the new breed, man. He's like the creative player in the NFL. He's 6'5", 260, but he's like athletic, man.
Right.
He can play the flat. He can cover a tight end. He can do it all. I mean, so that's what the league wants. They want those type of athletic ends who can cover and who can get to the quarterback. Because, man, what Patrick Mahomes did last year was just out of this world, man. And the defensive coordinator said, it ends today.
Right. You got to get there, man. You got to be able to cover and get to the QB. So, I mean, the second round is going to be the more sexy round. That'll be a lot of the offensive players. Oakland just drafted Josh Jacobs, the running back out of Oakland. I mean, out of Alabama, excuse me. So,
who just drafted him?
The Raiders.
Okay.
Lynch just retired though. Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
That's how Chicago picked.
Oh, nice. And he's like a Marshawn Lynch type of running back.
Yeah, 5'10", 220. Yep.
Same type of back, and he runs the same too. Runs the same. If you see some of his highlights, very similar player. I mean, of course, as we know, there's only one beast mode, but he has some similar attributes that Marshawn Lynch has. But I think the second round, you're going to see people. The teams are really going to win in the second and third round. That's when you're really going to get a lot of players.
Yeah.
I,
Truth be told, that's where your draft is usually anyway, because first round's 50-50. You
right,
know, you get those players in the second, third, fourth round. That's where your team's really made. So
right, very true.
they're not the ones that get glamour and glitz, but that's how your team is made. I mean, look how many second, third round picks we turned into, Le'Veon and shit. AB was a 6th round pick. So
Wow.
um, we just you could just juju second round.
Yeah.
So it's that's where you get your that's where you bulk your team up for your team. You draft good middle rounds, you have a good team. So
Right.
uh, so it should be good, man. I mean, but NFL doing a great job, man. And they got it on lockdown tomorrow. What is the second and third rounds tomorrow? I think on Friday. So
Right.
it's unbelievable, man. How big of a show it is. So
I think this,
let's see, man.
I think this just shows, you know, the NFL still got this thing on the chokehold, man. You know, uh,
Absolutely,
uh,
absolutely.
you know, with the NBA playoffs being what it is right now, we haven't even touched on that. You know, Dame Dollar pulling from another total different galaxy. Um,
Go home, OKC.
I mean,
Game time.
exactly with all that going
Game
on,
time.
and the emergence of the new face of the league and the new star of the league in the Greek Freak, no one's really talking about it as much as they're talking about the NFL draft.
Yeah, of course not. Of course
That just shows you uh, the NFL still got this country in a chokehold, man. When it's their time to kind of put on a show and kind of be on center stage, they shut everything down.
not. Yep, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, man. So um, it should be exciting. Um, but yeah, man. Hey, man. Great show, man.
Yes, sir. As always. We got to give the everything, the information for the what is so on YouTube. We got Blue Steel Show. Instagram is Blue Steel Show. Twitter is that show still. Email is bluesteelshow at gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. We'll be back quicker. And, maybe we'll try to do something after the draft as well,
Yeah,
next
definitely.
week as well. So,
So
everybody stay
maybe
tuned.
we could do a recap on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll try to get that out to you all. But thank you as always for your support, man. Be live. Good speaking to you as always. And we'll see what happens Friday and Saturday.